at least no one will recognize her O face in the backwoods. Wait. Her O face? Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is that time of the month. We are going to be going over February's new releases. I'm going to be looking at my phone and my laptop. Cover your cameras, boo-boo. Always have them covered. I did a little cheating this time, or I did more research. My January video, it was too much of this and a lot of editing. So I wanted to go ahead and look at what they're about and kind of give my own little summary. Because y'all know them bios, them summaries, them synopsis, whatever you want to call it, keep getting longer and longer. I'm reading the whole story. 17, if I count it right. 17 new releases that are all diverse. We have LGBTQIA plus in here. They're all, I think, BIPOC authors. I think we have some mental illness rep in here somewhere, disability rep. But I also, keep in mind, I only got books that I'm interested in. Starting off February 1st, we have Lipsticks and Camera Clicks. I am a bit skeptical about this, but let's get into it. So it's about an FMC who's on a reality dating show. She has to pretend to fall in love with the man who she doesn't like, who'd marry himself apparently, all while my TV producer best friend has front row seats to it all. She's there to collect a check and gain enough clout to help kick off her career as a makeup artist. I was a bit skeptical because it was sounding like a love triangle, which I don't understand how, because the guy, she likes the one guy who's filming and she's not into the other guy. But I ended up seeing a reviewer who said that it's not a romance. If I do read it, that'll help a lot going into it. February 2nd, we have This Is How You Fall in Love. Zara and Adnan, who are friends, fake date because Adnan wants to cover up his top secret relationship and it'll make Zara's family happy because they do like him. But she's hoping that they'll stop arguing. And how different can this be? Because they're friends, they're just going to be fake dating? Yeah, but they're going to be fake holding hands, fake kissing, and real feelings. We know they're going to develop. But there's a new boy that turns up in Zara's life and things get more confusing. Perfect fans of To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry. It's somewhere up here. Oh, I think it's down there. Love that book down. And Honey and Issues Guide to Fake Dating. I also have that, one of my favorite books. I will say this quickly. I'm not that big of a fan when one of the ways to promote a book and advertise it is whenever they mention, oh, it's kind of like this. If you're fans of this book or this author, read this. Because that puts you in a bad situation. One, if someone reads it and it's like, you're wrong, like I don't agree with you. Or you're right, it is very similar. Why is it so similar? So I don't honestly like when people do that. February 6th has a ton. We have 7 books coming out on February 6th. And when I was doing this, I'm like, that must be a Tuesday. And it is. A lot of trad published books come out on Tuesdays. I have no idea why. Daniel Deconstructed. So some of these, I did honestly just leave the whole synopsis. But okay. So a nerdy high schooler learns to embrace his main character energy in this witty and heart-healing ode to movie tropes, meet cutes, and LGBTQ plus love. So Daniel Sanchez is a photographer who learned a long time ago that the only way to get in an holistic world is to mask his autism and follow the script, which means he knows that boisterous, buff, and beautiful soccer superstars like his best friend Mona Sinclair shouldn't be wasting time hanging out with introverts who prefer being behind the camera. When Daniel meets a new classmate, Gabe Mendez, who is tall, mysterious, non-binary, and somehow as cool as Mona, Daniel knows exactly how this is going to play out. Mona and Gabe will meet cute, win their nominations for homecoming court, and ride off into the sunset together. Daniel just needs to do a little behind-the-scenes directing. But matchmaking means stepping into the mystifying and illogical world of love, dating, and relationships, where nothing is as seems and no one knows their lines. And when Daniel... You see what I'm talking about? These long-winded synopses. Now that I'm reading it, I could have just said, we have a character who's autistic. There's a non-binary classmate that comes into town. He thinks he's just going to, our main character, just Daniel, right? Yeah, Daniel thinks he's just going to matchmake Gabe and his other friend Mona, and then real feelings get it. We couldn't just say that. I hope this doesn't find you. Can you see I'm a sucker for YA? This one I'm gonna read, but I'm not gonna like run to get it. Never Have I Ever meets To All the Boys if Laura Jean wrote hate emails instead of love letters. So we have a girl, Sadie, who is perfect on paper. She's a school captain, valedictorian, and a pleasure to have in class. However, she's like that because she writes all her feelings down in emails, as emails. So she emails her teachers, you know, oh, like, I hate this class, da 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 da. This person who's cheating off her, I hate when she cheats off of me, da 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 da. She does this. It's kind of like Mean Girls, that scene with the burn book. However, they're never meant to get out, but I guess she ends up pressing send or something, and it all goes out. Now, her conflict-free life, it now has a big conflict. Very much. I wonder if she could even get expelled for that. Probably not. That's her opinion. I don't think she would. The only person who comes to her aid, guess what, must be her nemesis, Redwood Court. So this is a debut about one unforgettable Southern Black family seen through the eyes of its youngest daughter as she comes of age in the 1990s. Redwood Court is actually the cul-de-sac where her grandma lives. But basically, she spends a lot of her time with her grandparents. She listens to their stories and witnesses their struggles. And I guess it almost sounds like historical fiction. I'm sure it is. It could be. Next is ASAP. This is the companion novel to XOXO. I have that as well. I haven't read it yet. So I'm just going to read, you know, when it comes to summaries for books, they'll have like this blocked, like this paragraph in bold. To me, that always summarizes the book best, but then they go into detail. Some of these I will just be going over the bold, what was in bold, because I think it perfectly sums it up just fine. But I also want to read XOXO, and even though it sounds like this is going to be different characters, still, I don't want to be spoiled by anything. It's always a treat to me when I finish reading one book in a series and then I read the synopsis of the next one next. I don't know. I like to save that for when I'm done with the previous book. This is following a fan favorite, I guess, from the first book, obviously. Her name is Sori, and she is the wealthy daughter of a K-pop company owner, and Nathaniel, her K-pop star ex-boyfriend, in a swoon-worthy second chance story. I mean, it's a romance. So, what else do you need to know? A love song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. So this again, long-winded. So we have Ricky, who is an artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty who moves to Harlem in hopes, I guess, to open up a flower shop. And just beneath the surface of her new neighborhood is the music, stories, and dazzling drama of the Harlem Renaissance. Ricky ends up encountering a handsome, deeply mysterious stranger who knocks her world off balance in the most unexpected way. So this is set against the backdrop of modern Harlem and Renaissance glamour. A love song for Ricky Wilde is a swoon-worthy love story of two passionate artists drawn to the magic, romance, and opportunity of New York and whose lives are uniquely and irreversibly linked. So this is the same author who wrote 7 Days in June. I still have not read that book. I'm actually even more hesitant to read it now because I'm seeing a lot more mixed reviews. It's been out, I think, since like 2021 or 22. I feel like I'm seeing more like it was mid, you know, like it wasn't that great. I think I'm gonna try and read this one first so I can get to it early and make up my own mind before I just let it sit there and let it pass, and then everyone's like raving about it, and then like a year later, 6 months later, oh, that book really wasn't that good. So I'm gonna try and get to it soon. Out of Body. So this is a high stakes, propulsive, a YA thriller with a body swap twist. So think like Freaky Friday. Thoughtfully exploring themes of friendship and identity, perfect for fans of Tiffany D. Jackson. You see, why are we adding that? But that's fine, because that's not like comparing it to a specific book. It's kind of just saying like if you enjoy Tiffany D. Jackson, you might enjoy this. So I get that. That's different. That's a little more broad. Megan and Elsie become friends, but on the night of their friendiversary, what was supposed to be a bonding experience ends in a waking nightmare. Suddenly, Megan is no longer herself. Too late, she realizes that Elsie has secrets, dangerous ones, betrayed by her best friend, thrust into another girl's life, and targeted by Elsie's enemies. What is Elsie up to? What has she been up? What has she been doing? She must claim what makes Megan Megan to get her life back or die trying. Girls with Bad Reputation. So this is the second book in a series. I forgot, I think it's called like The Lilies. Kayla is the drummer in an up-and-coming rock band. She's fighting to keep her past separate from her present because of her controlling mom. Her and her band are on their first official, they're on their first official tour, and all she can see are warning signs. But she finds solace in the bus driver named Ty Baldwin, and their connection is immediate, and I don't know what I'm doing. Their connection is immediate and intense, but when increasing scrutiny from the press threatens to destroy Ty's newfound peace, she's forced to make an impossible decision to either pursue her dream and risk destroying everyone around her, or give in and lose the chance of ever becoming the person she's always known she could be. Sounds really good. I've read the first book. I enjoyed it. But going into this book, I'm going to remember, even though it sounds like this is going to be heavy in romance, like this actually sounds like a romance, it might not. I'm trying to remember the first book, if it's promoted and advertised as a romance, or is it like some kind of like fiction, not literary fiction, but I'm not familiar with all the different genres, but promoted as this one genre with a subplot of romance. I don't remember, but when I read it, it's really a subplot of romance, so I'm just going to keep that in mind going into this one. Next is February 13th. We have 2 books. The first is Sex, Lies, and Sensibility. 2 sisters roll up their sleeves to run a dilapidated beach town inn, but must learn to work with the locals in this deliciously spicy Sense and Sensibility inspired rom-com. I have no clue what Sense and Sensibility is. I can barely pronounce the word. Is that a movie? Is that a show? Is that a book? I'm gonna assume it's a book. I have no clue. There's never a good time to learn your father's secret second family, especially not at the reading of the will. To add insult to injury, Nora's racy leaked videos just went viral. Nora Dash has got no reputation, no dad, and only a forgotten beach house in rural Maine to her name. There are no other black people. Is this a black romance? For some reason, I thought this was indigenous. I mean, you can still be black and indigenous, but you know what I mean? I thought this was indigenous for some reason. Wait. There are no other black... See, I barely do my research. There are no other black people for miles. The place is abandoned, but at least no one will recognize her O face in the backwoods. Wait. Her O face? In the backwoods? What? Wait. She and her free-spirited sister Jan haven't even knocked the traveling dust off last season's designer boots when the first problem pops up. A fake park ranger giving tours of their property like it's his own, and he's hotter than the local lobster boil. Is this about to be super spicy? Ennis Bear Freeman is used to people showing up unannounced on his land, so when a beautiful city girl shows up with the deed to his unofficial headquarters, oh, it's giving Delulu. It's giving Delulu. In one manicured hand, he gives it a week before their whole crew packs up and leaves, but it isn't long before they find out they work better together than apart. To his surprise, Nora's damned good for Bear's business, and his own secrets might turn out to be the thing that sends them packing. Is this about to be super Wait! I'm even more excited to read this. The Boyfriend Wish. I would just like to say that I misspelled boyfriend on here, and it's spelled boy fried. The Boy Fried Wish. So this is a charming romantic comedy about a South Indian American teen girl who makes a wish upon a flower, not a star, a flower for her perfect boyfriend. And then a new boy moves in right next door with the love triangles. Ugh, you lost me there. But You Got Me Back at Prank Wars, and A Sizzling Sweet Romance. February 20th, we also have 2 books. A Tempest of Tea. I debated putting this on here because this is the same author that wrote We Hunt the Flame or something. And I remember hearing about that book, but I don't remember why. I think it was like a controversial take or something. Like, so I don't know if someone like what do you call it? Not paraphrase. Plagiarized this book, or she plagiarized. I don't remember. I tried looking it up, but I can't find anything. So I don't remember. Do I remember hearing about this book because it's good, or because it was in some controversy? I do not know. But I'm gonna add it anyway. I tried doing my research. If you know, let me know in the comments below if you heard anything about this book. Or not this book, but We Hunt the Flame or something. Or that author. This is the first book in a hotly anticipated new fantasy duology. Side note, I'm trying to enter my fantasy era. This video is going to be posted first, but I have a video where I'm reading books outside of my comfort zone. And one of them, well, 2 of them are actually fantasies, but I'm still reading that one book. But the other fantasy that I read was fantastic, and I'm hoping that I'm entering my fantasy era. An orphan girl and her crew who get tangled in a heist with vampires. Say it with me, perfect for fans. Perfect for fans of Lee Bardugo's Six of Crows. I never read that. I know a lot of people like it. Island Witch. So this is inspired by Sri Lankan folklore. This is in late 19th century Sri Lanka, where the daughter of a traditional demon priest, relentlessly bullied by peers and accused of witchcraft herself, tries to solve the mysterious attacks that have been terrorizing her coastal village. And then the last day that I have is February 27th, and we have 4 books. Another fantasy. I don't know if it's YA. I don't remember, but I know a lot of people who have read it already and they loved it. It's called Lore of the Wilds. This is a romantasy debut about an enchanted library, 2 handsome fae, and 1 human who brings them all together. So it's a library with a deadly enchantment, a fae lord who wants in, and a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. There's some of these I didn't say it, but there are longer synopses, whatever, synopsi. But I just went with that paragraph that's in bold. That's a perfect summary to me. I don't need a bunch of other details. Next is Tender Beast, which I think is I don't know if it's a fantasy. I know it's a thriller. I think when I saw the title, it kind of gave fantasy vibes. After her private school is rocked by a gruesome murder, a teen tries to find the real killer and clear her brother's name in the psychological thriller, perfect for fans of The Taking of Jake Livingston and Ace of Spades. And here's the problem with that. Remember I said before, I don't like when people say that, because sometimes that might not be accurate. But I haven't read the book yet. But going based on the 2 books that they mention, The Taking of Jake Livingston and Ace of Spades. I think I have both. No, I'm lying. I just have the Ace of Spades right there. Loved Ace of Spades. I think specifically if you're a Black reader, you either think it's a 5-star or a 1-star. I feel like I've rarely seen in between. It's always one of the other. Taking of Jake Livingston, I wasn't a fan of. I think I gave it like a 3. So that makes me a little worried, because what's the connection? Like, I'm curious about what the connection is going to be. Like, why is it going to be a little similar? Or like, why do you think it's going to be fans of The Taking of Jake Livingston? So Sunny has 4 siblings, and only 1 is a murderer. After Sunny's mother dies, she instructs Sunny to take good care of Dom, who is her youngest brother, but he's always been like a near stranger to her, and seemingly a dangerous one if found guilty of his 2nd-degree murder charge. He swears that he's innocent, and they work together to try and solve it, but as they're trying to solve it, they keep finding bodies. So Sunny and Dom work together to track down the culprit. She realizes that her other siblings have their own dark secrets. Soon she may have to preserve the family she's always loved or protect the brother she barely knows and risk losing everything her mother worked so hard to build. We have a fantasy. So this is called Illusions of Fire. The cover is so fire, y'all. That cover is absolutely breathtaking. This is by Nisha Sharma. I've read 2 books by her adult romances. Well, she has others. The one I'm talking about is Dating Dr. Dill and whatever the second one is called. Unlike most of her classmates, Layla Bensal wakes up early and trains in hand-to-hand combat with her adopted aunts, who, when not tending to their thriving vineyard, are immortal Rakshasi demons sworn to protect Layla. Layla was born into a mythological bloodline, one infused with magic and entrusted with Lord Krishna's secrets of the universe. Then Avi, the new boy in town, arrives and immediately seeks out Layla. He happens to be a descendant of a demigod, and magical powers are activated, dark forces converge, and it looks like Layla's quiet town in upstate New York might be the setting of the next epic battle. And the last book on my list is a romance. It's an adult romance, The Partner Plot. So this is the same author that wrote The Neighbor Favor. And I didn't realize it when I first saw the book, and then I realized later. I haven't read The Neighbor Favor yet. I have heard, I don't know, I feel like I used to hear mixed reviews, like more negative, but now I feel like I hear more positive reviews about it. So I don't know if this is technically like an interconnected series or whatnot. It doesn't sound like it is. So I don't know if I want this to be my first book of hers, or do I just want to go ahead and try out The Neighbor Favor, see if I like it, and then read this? I don't know. We'll see. 2 former high school sweethearts get a second chance in this marriage of convenience. Violet Green is a successful celebrity stylist, and after surviving a very public breakup with her ex-fiance 6 months ago, she's now determined to focus on her career. Xavier Wright did not expect to run into his high school girlfriend Violet, the girl he once thought he'd marry on a birthday trip to Vegas. As a high school teacher and basketball coach, he rarely leaves his New Jersey hometown, so what were the chances? But when the initial shock wears off, they decide to celebrate together. They feel young and reckless as they party the night away, and reckless they clearly were when the following morning they wake up beside each other with rings on their fingers. So their impulsive noodles might be a blessing in disguise, though when they realize that both of their careers could benefit from the marriage, they play the part of a blissfully wedded couple. I really like that because I feel like a lot of the other marriage of convenience that I've read, it's still planned. They talk about it, they see the benefits that they could both have, and then they marry, but it sounds like they accidentally get married. And instead of annulling the marriage or divorcing or whatever, they now think of the positives that could come out of it. That's it. That's all I have for February 2024 releases. Let me just say the ones that, like, I'm so excited, like, I want to go check them out from my library as soon as possible. Out of Body, Tender Beast, Sex, Lies, and Sensibility, and Illusions of Fire. But based off of the plot, The Partner Plot. Oh, and it's in there. Plot. And I'm saying that just because, again, I know people have read The Neighbor Favor, and I was kind of hearing those mixed reviews, so I don't know which one I want to read first, but based off of this list, I am excited to get into it. Comment down below whether or not you've read any of these as ARCs, or if some of these sound very good and you're going to add them to your TBR. See you next week.